And we'd like to say thank you to Australian Vine Ripened Tomatoes right here in Bundaberg, because they're the people who supply the canteens with the tomatoes, and Withcott Seedlings are the people who supply Australian Vine Ripened Tomatoes with those little tomato seedlings. And they finally end up right here at Carina Speedway on your hamburger. And Trackwell Motor Bodybuilders, they're approved engineering tradesperson in coach and motor bodybuilding, specialising in chassis modifications. They can do just about anything that you want with your motor vehicle. Make it look like something that you would be really proud of. And as we pick them up, 25 laps the journey, Withcott Seedlings, Peter Lack. Behind the wheel of the 05 car, outside of him, car number 22, Steve Jordan. These are the positions 1 and 2 on the point scores before we started here tonight. Michael Halley is car number 98. That's the Michael Halley concreting Falcon. He's had a big night. Outside of him, someone, as we said, always at the front of the field, car number 2, the Aussie trackwear car, Gary Brown, out of Brisbane. He starts outside of that second row. Chris Top, he will go better as the race progresses. 25 laps, a long, long way. Mark Ferguson, the Colourfast car, number 42, also out of Brisbane. Karoi Auto Wreckers, the man who's been the benchmark, I guess, for modified production racing for a long, long time. Greg Raymond is car number 29, and he's got the current Queensland champion. Outside of him, that's the Fixit Auto Wreckers car from right here in Bundaberg. And Russell Baldry behind the wheel. Glenn Bayfield is car number 11 out of the East Coast Club in Brisbane. The Logan City bus car number 45, that's Neil Lewis behind the wheel. Steve Collins is in car number 43. Car number 4, the Pearson drilling car of Eddie Pearson. The Corvette Queensland car is Brian Leroyd. Car number 25 is Shane Skeen. The Highway 1 car, the Dots Carpet car, out of Gympie, number 15 is Mark Pagel. And right at the back is Steve Price in the brand new motor car. The paint was still wet when it turned up here at Carina tonight. We've got 25 laps. The lights have gone out. There's a green flag waiting for them. People in turn 1, here they come. On the outside, Steve Jordan gets carried up by Peter Lack. Left out to dry 2 is Gary Brown as they head down the back chute for the first time. Peter Lack is the race leader. Steve Jordan right in there on their hammer. Here's Chris Top. Michael Halley. Peter Lack's gone wide on turn 1. Shuts the door on Steve Jordan in 2. Down the back chute. Chris Top having a look around the outside. Michael Halley down on the inside. Greg Raymond is in trouble on the main straightaway and tries to get out of harm's way, but takes Mark Ferguson with him up onto the infield. One on the infield down the back chute was Brian Leroyd. The lights are on. We've got Steve Price. Oh, it's making some funny noises as it goes past me. So that's not good. Okay, the lights are out, so it looks like we've sorted them out. Bit of bumper-to-bumper stuff towards the back of the pack. Peter Lack, he'll know about turn 1 and 2 this time. Steve Jordan. And they skip straight away from Chris Top. Michael Halley having a look underneath Chris Top. Straight away on the restart, we go back to Mark Ferguson. The next one is Gary Brown. Neil Lewis is in there along with Russell Baldry. Eddie Pearson would be the next one. Mark Pagel, Shane Skean. Brian Leroyd works his way through to Steve Collins and Glenn Bayfield at the front of the pack. Peter Lack the Withcott Seedlings car. He loves to be up there. He's in front. Steve Jordan doing everything he knows back there in position number 2. Chris Top gets it out of shape. Here comes Michael Halley up into position number 3. Back then to Mark Ferguson and Gary Brown. Neil Lewis, Russell Baldry, Ed Pearson, Mark Pagel, Shane Skian, Brian Leroyd, Steve Collins and Glenn Bayfield. Steve Jordan coming under the attention of Michael Halley. At the moment, Peter Lack is the race leader. Steve Jordan, Michael Halley, Chris Top, Mark Ferguson and Gary Brown. They've cleared out from the rest. Here comes Michael Halley. Up underneath Steve Jordan. Side by side into turn 3. Jordan shuts the door on him. Michael Halley wants another go. Up the main straight away. Peter Lack has got a huge lead. Steve Jordan, Michael Halley all over him. Gives him a nice old whack in the back. Gets him out of shape. Moves to the outside. Tries to go round the outside and does so. Steve Jordan, Chris Top, Mark Ferguson, Gary Brown, Neil Lewis and Russell Baldry. Ed Pearson calls it a day and parks it. Mark Pagel has done the same. Peter Lack's the race leader. Gary Brown having a little look underneath. Mark Ferguson can't do it that time. Steve Jordan now coming under the grips of Chris Top. Mark Ferguson moves high. Gary Brown goes under him. The next one behind him is Russell Baldry, who's got by Neil Lewis. Shane Skian has stopped and trying to get off the racetrack and has done so with a flat tyre. Race leader, here he comes onto the main straightaway. Peter Lack in front of Michael Halley. Then the action is back there for third money. Steve Jordan, Chris Top, Gary Brown, Mark Ferguson, Russell Baldry and Neil Lewis. That's where the action is. Position number 3, Steve Jordan. He's struggling to hold them at bay as again Russell Baldry has succumbed to mechanical problems. Back shoot. Coming underneath Chris Top is Gary Brown. Moves him out of the way. He's the next one to have a go at Steve Jordan. Race leaders halfway down the back chute and into the hairpin. He's put a lap on Glenn Bayfield. Michael Halley chasing from position 2. Steve Jordan struggling to hold on to 3. Gary Brown now wants a bit of the action. Chris Top, Mark Ferguson hard on his hammer and Neil Lewis. Long way back then to Brian Leroyd. We'll concentrate on position number 3. Steve Jordan. He's got Gary Brown all over him. Here comes Gary Brown up the inside. Can't do it. Chris Top back right behind him. Steve Jordan makes an error in turn number 1 and Gary Brown gets through into position number 3. So now in third, Gary Brown in front of Steve Jordan. The next one is Chris Top. Mark Ferguson is still there. Neil Lewis, Brian Leroyd. And the next one around on the racetrack is the race leader, Peter Lack. Michael Halley chasing him. They're coming up on Glenn Bayfield. A whole field of cars right behind Glenn Bayfield. First one through, Gary Brown. He moves over and lets them go. Next one through will be Steve Jordan. He gets by safely. In trouble is Chris Top. and onto the infield. Mark Ferguson moves up one more. Then we go back to Neil Lewis, Brian Leroyd. Down the main chute again, Peter Lack. I don't think Michael Halley is closing the gap at all. Russell Baldry's back on the racetrack, but he's down a lap or two. Peter Lack, Michael Halley, Gary Brown. Moved away a little bit from Steve Jordan, Mark Ferguson. The next one would be Neil Lewis, who's got Brian Leroyd now right on his hammer. Perhaps Michael Halley has closed the gap ever so slightly as Brian Leroyd has moved up one position through the canteen corner, and Michael Halley is slowly rolling him in. Back in third place, Gary Brown in front of Steve Jordan. Next one is Mark Ferguson. Then we've got Brian Leroyd, Neil Lewis, race leader, Peter Lack, Michael Halley. Can he do it? Michael Halley is slowly getting in closer and closer to the race leader. Gary Brown is a distant third. Steve Jordan, he's closed the gap again. There's only one lap to go. Peter Lack, he's got one lap of Carina to go. Michael Halley, what a great chase, but he won't be able to do it. Down the back chute for the last time. Peter Lack coming around to take the checkered flag. Had a big win over Michael Halley. Gary Brown, it will be a distant third in front of Steve Jordan. Mark Ferguson, the next one home, Brian Leroyd. We'd then have Neil Lewis. Put your hands together, folks. Modified production racing. Michael Halley, what an effort. He just would not give in. Peter Lack is the winner and will do his lap of honour. As he goes around, folks, put your hands together for him. Peter Lack from the Withcott Seedlings has made it 2 feature races. Fire. As he comes around, can we have the trophy? And as always, trophy winner time. Hang on, Peter. This makes 2. Winner of the Withcott Seedlings round here in Bundaberg. We'll just wait till Peter gets his helmet off. Peter Lack, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations, Peter. 2 from 2. How does it feel?
Mate, this is unbelievable. You know, to come into this class and do so well, I didn't expect to do as good as we did. So a great credit to the Withcott Seedlings Track World rounds. I've got to thank Wendy and Graham Urhart from Withcott Seedlings. It's a terrific car. It's just a terrific team. You know, all the crew that put in the effort during the week, you know, that's where it counts. And on the night, you know, they just worked all night. So thanks to all the other drivers. It's been a great race. I've really enjoyed it, and I can't wait for the next one. Thank you.
Next one, of course, is Lismore. A little bit tighter than this. What's the idea of the donut stuff?
A bit excited.
Okay, there he is, folks. Withcott Seedlings, car number 05 from the Downs, Peter Lack. Second home in the event was Michael Halley. And put your hands together, folks, for Michael. Just would not give in, chased as hard as he could. And third home as well, great drive to Brisbane-based Gary Brown. So that's the finals.